June 26 is considered as unforgettable day in history of India because on that day, Emergency Act was declared. According to Indian Constitution Article 352, if other countries attacks India or if Indian security is on high risk, then this act will be sanctioned by the President of India. And if this sanctioned article gets approved by Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha in Parliament, then this article would hang on up to 6 months. But if these articles get sanctioned without getting approval from Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha Parliament, then this act will get invalid and the judgment will end within a month. During 1975 June 25, the Prime Minister of India Indira Gandhi sanctioned this article. And because of this, the Indian Law Section 21, which talks about security and independence of Indian citizens, became invalid. Apart from these problems, still many laws and schemes were declared by Parliament, which snatched the peace of Indian citizens, especially MISA, that is Maintenance of Internal Security Act. According to this act, any Indian citizens can be arrested without any reasons. No questions will be asked and the arrested victim can never appeal to court for justice. Today's generation doesn't know about this kind of act, but now we are in a situation to know about MISA Act. In the year 1971, Indira Gandhi used a tagline, "Let's get rid of poverty," and she won the Lok Sabha election in 352 places and she came under ruling. On the same year, during December, India declared a war against Pakistan and achieved victory. This leads to the separation of Bangladesh from Pakistan. And because of this incident, Indira Gandhi got fame across the world. At the same time, during this period, Indira Gandhi had already clashed with Supreme Court. In the year 1971, Indira Gandhi won the election held in Raebareli district. Raj Narayanan, who stood as opposition party in that election, after losing the election against Indira Gandhi in Raebareli, he filed a case against Indira Gandhi, stated that the victory of Indira Gandhi election is fake and is invalid. In this case, Rajanarayan's lawyer, Mr. Shanti Bhushan, made Indira Gandhi to stand in the inquiry box of court and cross-examine her. In Indian history, that was the first time where a Prime Minister of India is made to stand in inquiry box in front of the judge. This case was held for up to 4 years. And after 4 years, in the year 1975 June 12, in Allahabad High Court, the judge Mr. Jagmohan Lal Sinha gave this judgment that the victory of Indira Gandhi was not valid. After hearing this judgment, whole world was in shock. Indira Gandhi used the influence of Yashpal Kapoor, who was the leader of Indian National Congress and was the member of Rajya Sabha, to win the Raebareli election. Indira Gandhi's election was declared null and void, as well as she was banned from the contesting any elections for additional 6 years, availing the services of government. Within half an hour of this judgment, a petition was submitted by Indira Gandhi to hold the judgment. The High Court judge approved the petition and hold the judgment for 20 days, and also ordered Indira Gandhi to appeal in Supreme Court within 20 days. Due to this shocking judgment from High Court, leaders of that period like Jay Prakash, Morarji Desai, George Fernandez, and still many gave notice to Indira Gandhi to resign from her position. But there were some ministers like Jagajeevan Ram, Umashankar Dikshit, Ramananda Reddy who opposed the High Court judgment and declared to wait for Supreme Court judgment, and also stated that till then Indira Gandhi ruling is essential for the nation. By that time, the leader of Jagasangam party, Mr. Vajpayee, went to Kashmir to meet the president of that time, Mr. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad, and forced him to make Indira Gandhi to resign from her post. But during that time, Palkhiwala sent a petition to Supreme Court opposing the High Court judgment. Also holds the Supreme Court judgment from Indira Gandhi's side. Now, the Supreme Court judge, Mr. V.R. Krishna Iyer, permitted Indira Gandhi to retain her post as Prime Minister of India. But opponent party leaders were still opposing Indira Gandhi to resign from her post. Now, during this confusion, Indira Gandhi arranged discussion with Central Minister and Indira Congress Minister to bring conclusion. And in that discussion, Siddharth Shankar Ray, an Indian lawyer, said that Indira Gandhi should not resign in this kind of situation because it might confuse the Indian constitution. Now, Indira Gandhi gave an intelligence report to Siddharth Shankar Ray, and the report says that the military and police department are planning to protest against Indira Gandhi, said by J. Prakash Narayan. And also he says that the opposition party leaders planning to protest in front of her home and to make her house arrest. Now, Siddharth Shankar Ray advised Indira Gandhi that she can't resign as well as she can't even retain her post to get rid of this problem. So it is the right time to bring the Emergency Act. Now, Indira Gandhi approached the President Mr. Fakhruddin Ali Ahmad to approve her to bring this Emergency Act. And finally, she got approval from President to bring this act. But Indira Gandhi's youngest son Sanjay Gandhi told her that by bringing this Emergency Act, the opposition party leaders will make a big issue. So it's better to arrest them also and instruct the press and media that not to publish any news regarding this issue. At first, Indira Gandhi hesitated, but later on, as she doesn't had any other option, after long discussion, she proceeded further. Then, in the year 1975, June 26, early morning, the Emergency Act was implemented. Indira Gandhi gave some reasons for the implementation of Emergency Act, and the reasons were India won the war with Pakistan. Now India is in challenging situation that India can be attacked by terrorists anytime. Due to heavy rain in many rural areas, poverty got increased, and she told Indian economic status had fallen down and unemployment increased because of protests done by opponent parties. Once this act came to implementation, Indira Gandhi banned all the fundamental rights of Indian citizens. She also deactivated the courts so that public can never appeal for the justice. She made to hunt the opposition parties' leaders like J. Prakash Narayan, Vajpayee, Advani, George Fernandez, Morarji Desai. All these leaders got arrested through this act. Not only them, but also leaders and members of Marxist, Communist, Leninist were arrested and some were ordered to encounter. Police and military were on high force against them. None of this piece of information were published in news and media by that time. The next day, that is June 27, 1975 in Delhi, the newspaper haven't printed as they stopped to give power supply to print the news. So these are the things which happened during the time of Emergency Act.